We out here, chilling in the spot. What up? How y'all doing? We out here, chilling in the spot. What up? How y'all doing? We out here, chilling in the spot. What up? How y'all doing? We out here, chilling in the spot. What up?
Hey, what's going on, y'all? Brothers Breaking Bread podcast in the house. Hey!
We'll have a little potluck. Have everybody over. It'll be good.
Yeah, let's make it happen. Let's not just talk about it.
This is a beautiful thing, man. Just all this blackness, and we all just getting together, we playing dominoes, we eating, we drinking.
And, you know, food is always just the extra, man.
They deprive these people of their basic human rights. You know, and we call ourselves Americans. We're supposed to be above all this.
They'll fake the crisis. They'll make it seem way out of proportion.
We brothers, we breaking bread.
How y'all doing? We out here, chilling in the spot. What up?
Trying to hold it all together, man. Life is moving fast right now, man. So it's good to have everybody come through.
I love that, man. I love it a lot. More than I could say to you guys.
Anyway, we talked about we alluded to it earlier. But
All right, yeah, what's next?
The niggas been asleep. The U.S. Postal Service is now a Trump target in 2020 election. Here's what's going on. Basically, this nigga saying, yeah, I recognize that if people get to mail in their votes, that it's not good for me. So I'm going to defund the post office. And he put his homeboy as the postmaster, who, you know what? Y'all talk about it. Let me look this nigga's name up.
Nigga, they out here ripping the fucking machines out of post offices.
They pulled 10% of the sorting machines out of the post offices, which like they sort like so many million pieces each per hour.
How are they justifying that? How is that progress?
I know Kansas City alone reported they have pulled 4 in this area.
Yeah, since my company, we deal with the post office like daily, and we hear they're all pissed. The carriers and the guys, like they cut their overtime off. That's why like people are not getting their mail the day they should get it. They're getting it the next day, because if you have not completed your run by a certain time, your 8 hours is up. There's no overtime. Go home, and they'll have to just wait till next week. I mean, some post offices are not even delivering mail. People are having to come and get it in some post office areas because they cut staffing and that sort of thing so much. It's called reform, but it's clearly tampering.
Louis DeJoy is a businessman, top Trump donor, who was appointed Postmaster General. That's who it is.
So okay. I get holding people to an 8-hour schedule. You don't want to give them no overtime. I get that. It's but it's inconvenient. It's inconvenient like a motherfucker. But I get it. How the fuck is it moving us forward to rip out machinery that keeps us organized?
Because the whole thing,
unless you're talking about adding new machinery that's even better.
They're not talking about that.
They're not talking about that. They're just decommissioning.
The thing is, though, it's like that whole thing, like when people started looking at like Medicare and Medicaid and all that kind of shit like that, Social Security as like not so much something I paid into, so you should get it. Yeah, so they're treating the post office like a business, and they're saying the post office isn't making any money, and it's not supposed to be a business.
How is getting rid of machinery? How's getting rid of machinery increasing the profit margin?
But like
less machines they have to. Yeah, cost cutting maintenance, cost
cutting. That's all it means. Just timing.
They can get the same amount done without this machine, which we have to pay maintenance to maintain and parts for. So yeah, it's a cost cutting measure.
So it's got to be sorted by human beings who require an hourly wage.
Right, but
it's going to be the same humans.
You're just going to get. It's going to take. Like, we have a standard for how mail is delivered and how fast we get it.
So
they're basically saying that standard, we don't give a fuck about that standard.
So what you're saying, Joe, is what they're saying, take the machines out, fuck overtime, in the same 8 hours that this machine could have did millions of calculations, we want these humans to do it. And if you can't do it in those 8 hours, go home.
Go home.
And I get Joe was asking the question so we can get on this point. Yeah.
Get your mail when we get it to you.
Yep.
Right, but also another point too is I mean, we're talking about like the hand carrier, mail deliverers, or whatever. But the sorters that that work around the clock, they're looking at by taking the machines away. Now you're basically essentially the next level is removing an entire shift. So it's usually the overnight shift.
So at the same point in time, you make the postal service look so inept.
That's the key.
Yeah.
See, and that's the long game is that
long game.
When Trump loses the election, he says, well, look at all the mail-in voting and look how inept and fucked up the post office is. That's why I didn't get the votes I needed to win. Cancel the election. It's that whole I created a problem. But then I complain about the problem later on when it benefits me.
And there's so many smoke and mirrors because I think up in New Jersey is the latest trend of social media, Russian bots, whatever, saying people are getting the wrong ballots and all this shit. So is it that we're all getting the wrong ballots, or that the postal service is so slow that no one's getting a ballot? So what happens is everyone questions everything, and we all just go, the postal service is inept.
Has somebody sued with DeJoy, whatever fuck his name is, and Trump for voter fraud?
They got the watchdog looking into it right now. The IG, I think as of yesterday or today.
Yeah, it's gonna take. They got to get more evidence from.
And I will say shout out to Senator Warren. She has been like, and also she's the big name, right? But there's been several senators out there, and also House representatives out there along with her. But she's leading the charge as far as like investigating DeJoy.
I know the presidents of like the local post office union. I know I think I saw this morning that they were gathering like a case to bring up. But then was it Elizabeth Warren said pressured the IG, the watchdog to look into them?
Let me just read these two paragraphs real quick. DeJoy came into the USPS with little related experience and a lot of red flags. In 2014, his company New Breed Logistics was bought by transportation logistics company XPO Logistics, a USPS contractor. DeJoy sat on XPO's board and still had a large equity stake in the company when he became Postmaster General, CNN reported, raising the potential conflict of interest. He has also owned between 1,000 and 250,000 Amazon stock when he was appointed to USPS. Though he divested those shares in June, DeJoy also bought between 50,000 and 100,000 in stock options for Amazon, CNN reported, raising questions about why he would be investing in a competitor to an agency. He leads Amazon, has its own delivery network that carries 9 Amazon packages as well as its own. Senator Elizabeth Warren has called for an investigation into DeJoy's purchase of Amazon stock options. And that's what's crazy, right? Like, these people who sit on these boards have all these informations. Especially when we talked about old girl and her husband who sits on the New York Stock Exchange when this COVID shit kicked off.
The senator from Georgia, yeah.
Yeah. We have
Senator Loeffler.
Yeah, Loeffler also owns, I guess she's the owner of a WNBA team also. So you have all these people who are privy to all this information who also own all these stocks. It's real crazy out there in this world, bro. Real crazy.
But we shouldn't be surprised, though. Look at Betsy DeVos.
No, I'm not surprised.
The reason why she's where she's at is because she made a big donation, and she still got approved by the Senate, which is GOP ran.
Well, right, but I'm saying, I'm specifically talking about a guy who is in charge of the United States Postal Service who also owns stock options in competing companies. That shouldn't be happening at all. But here we are in America. Or a contractor who helps deliver mail with the United States Postal Service, which he also owns stock in also, that shouldn't be happening either.
But the president hasn't done that yet. So, I mean...
Agreed.
It starts from the top.
No. His family, his children own the company, even though they have privy to all the information too. But never mind that.
No, but Trump hasn't divested his quote-unquote holdings or whatever.
Yeah, I know. I get it.
His workaround has been to post on social media a check saying that he's going to donate it to another agency, his salary, but collecting, he donated $100,000 of his salary to the National Wildlife and Park Services, while all his golf trips have cost taxpayers $134 million to this day. That's 334 years of president's salary.
How can you be the United States the Postmaster General, but in 2019 he was named the finance chair for the 2020 Republican National Convention?
How can you be the head of education, the National Education Department, and have no degree, no schooling background, no education background? Filthy rich.
My man Joe got to have masters and continuing education and all this shit. But the person who's pretty much trying to fuck him and all his peers ain't got a fucking degree.
Yeah.
The world we live in. Anyway, we'll keep moving.
And she buys a yacht like every 6 months or some shit.
They own a yacht, bro. What do you mean buy? Her family owns that yacht.
No. She buys a yacht, but she buys a new yacht every like
buys
6
a
months.
new one. Okay, my bad.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you're all right. But after saying that, after talking about the United States Postal Service and how bad it is, President Trump requests mail-in ballot for upcoming Florida primary.
He did say, he said, hey, Florida, what they're doing over there in Florida is right. That's why he does it. He did say, I mean, not verbatim, obviously, paraphrasing. But.
And I'm saying that, but we'll keep it moving. Ain't a lot to say. We know what it is here.
Him and Melania, even though she held a residency in New York.
But this is where we get to the fuckery side of the show, I guess. So Key West police arrested an 8-year-old at school. His wrists were too small for the handcuffs. Video will be in the show notes. So obviously you can't see it. So like I said before, police officers at a Florida elementary school arrested an 8-year-old boy who allegedly hit his teacher, only to realize the boy's wrists were too small for the handcuffs. Part of the Key West police body cam footage of December 2018 arrest was released on Monday by civil rights attorney my nigga being Crump been busy.
Yes.
Yeah, especially this year.
Ben Crump been busy the motherfucker. Who's representing the boy's mother. On Tuesday, she filed a federal lawsuit claiming the officers used excessive force, that the school's officials failed to intervene, and the city and school district violated the Americans with Disabilities Act. The lawsuit says the boy has special needs. What say you, Joe? You being the educator on the program.
It's fucked up.
Yeah. I didn't know what else.
You've been on record of saying like, man, fuck these kids. I put hands on them.
No, he's talking about grown ass kids.
I don't think I've been on record saying that, bro.
No.
I'm gonna deny that.
I don't remember that part.
I'm gonna deny that quote.
I will say I never know him to be on record saying 8-year-olds should be handcuffed. I will say that.
Well, no 8-year-old. Yeah.
I will say that for my man. We're not gonna slander Joe.
I was half paying attention. What's the charges?
I guess that he allegedly hit a teacher. That's what they're saying. That's what they're stating.
But he's 8 years old, though.
Nigga.
The boy.
I don't know, man. You hit a teacher, man. I'm for putting kids in handcuffs.
Weighs 64 pounds.
I'm for that. But at the same time, an 8-year-old, I mean, there's common sense shit, but I don't know. They didn't call mom. What's the deal? They could have sent the boy home or expelled him or something. I don't know. Something.
That's my take on it, man. They could have at least expelled the boy from school.
I said the charges were dismissed, but the original charge was felony battery.
Yeah,
I don't think 8-year-old kids should be hitting teachers. I don't think that should be happening.
I agree.
No, I agree with that, but I don't think 8-year-olds should be arrested for it.
Okay. Here it goes.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I think somebody needs to come get that young man, and they need to be restrained. Now, whether you choose to use handcuffs or not, I don't know. But 8-year-old kids should not be hitting teachers.
But I will say, prior to that, though, he was sitting there when the police came. So did he really need to be handcuffed?
It's all right. There's common sense stuff that goes along with everything. You know what I'm saying? But then again, it should be common sense that an 8-year-old should know to keep their hands and feet to themselves.
Right, but this kid had the special needs, though.
Well, I would say the mother is claiming that, but I would say that. So he may be special needs. He may. I don't know. But I'm saying that's what the mother is saying. And I also will say that the city dropped charges also.
Yeah, fine. I understand all that. I mean, whether or not the boy was put in handcuffs, I don't know. But, they dropped the charges. I just know that there should probably be zero tolerance for students putting their hands on teachers, period.
And vice versa.
And vice versa. I was about to say that exactly. I was about to say there should be zero tolerance for teachers putting their hands on students. You know what I'm saying? In a violent format or in an inappropriate way.
Right. Monroe County Chief Assistant State Attorney Val E. Winter said in an email that a mental health evaluation was conducted on the boy in conjunction with his attorney, and that it was determined in the child's best interest to dismiss the charges based on the boy's age and mental evaluation.
So the charges, but you guys are upset about the handcuffs. So at the point of arrest, the arresting officer made the decision to put the kid in handcuffs.
And I will say that that's a bad choice by the cop, because it's pretty clear that the boy was like sitting there and calm.
But who's to say he won't start kicking and biting and say all kind of crazy stuff after you say, hey, we got to go.
Right. But I'm saying also, based on what the report says, based on his mental evaluation and his age, this shouldn't have happened.
What shouldn't have happened?
But it might
the whole situation.
Wait, Paul. What shouldn't have happened?
Him being handcuffed and arrested. And also, but then you go a step further. If you're talking about him having,
so you're saying the child has an IEP, that's an individual education plan, that suggests that he might hit a teacher.
We assume as much.
So what I'm saying to you, that in his individual education plan is written that he can hit teachers.
It depends on what school you're at, and depending on where he's at.
No.
Well, no. I would.
Yeah, y'all worked at whatchamacallit at Cred.
Yeah. No one.
Were there kids who had plans that allowed them to hit y'all?
But we never called the cops though, and you also won't put them in handcuffs.
Were they allowed to hit you?
You would safely restrain them. Yes.
So, we don't have the ability to safely restrain them.
No, but I'm also saying
we don't. That's where we don't. That's where I'm saying we don't have that ability.
But what I'm saying is between him hitting that teacher and the point when the police.
And Paul, you said safely. Hold on. Let me back up. You said safely restrain them. What's the difference between you safely restraining? Because I know the methods y'all use.
Yeah.
I remember hearing them stories about how y'all used to quote unquote safely restrain people. What's the difference between? How is that? Isn't that handcuffs a safe restraint?
But if we came in a room and the kid was sitting there and cooperating, we never would have to restrain them. So going by this video, he never would have been restrained. What I'm trying to tell you. Going by this video,
though. He's not going to a timeout. He's under arrest.
I'm saying he's sitting in a chair and he's following all commands by the police. So at no point in time would he have been restrained. Going by this video, what you're asking me.
I hear what you're saying,
and I hear what you're saying.
I'm also saying that he may have been doing it at that point. But what happens when they say go ahead and get a squad car and then he throws a fit?
I don't know. Now we
start biting and
all
kicking.
I'm saying,
and all
based upon what we saw, and we can what if everything, and then all of a sudden grandma grows a dick and becomes grandpa. What I'm saying is based on what we
about that.
And I'm saying based upon what we saw, this kid never would have been restrained. Because you would have came into the room, he was sitting down, and we would have said, go to the timeout room. And he would have walked to the timeout room, and we would have closed the door.
He's not going to the timeout room.
But he's going to be arrested. So at that point in time, I'm putting handcuffs on you, and I'm going to wild out. He would have wild out, right?
Isn't the timeout room a restraint?
If they walk in there willingly, which most kids do, I guess. But it's also
did he walk into the handcuffs willingly?
Yeah, so it wouldn't have to happen. Originally, we would ask you to go to your room. If you walk to your room and remain there quietly.
Originally, I asked you not to hit a teacher or hit anybody, hit a student, hit anybody.
But also,
I originally asked you to keep your hands and feet to yourself.
But also, what all lives matters, what people would say was, I didn't see the video beforehand. What did the teacher do? Because we are like there ain't bad teachers out there that escalate children.
And also, now that you mentioned,
I'm just saying.
look, the kid in the video is white, a white complexion. So I mean, so it's not like we're defending.
All I'm saying is, based upon what I saw from this video, if he hit, because it's alleged that he hit the teacher, it's never been confirmed. Based upon that video, what I saw, let's say it was a Crittenton, and we say, hey man, you got to get up and go to your room to calm down. He gets up and go to his room and calms down and follows all commands. Ain't no need to go to the timeout room as far as what you call restraints.
Dude, that's at Crittenton. This is out in the world. That's assault, bro.
At Crittenton, there are some cases if you beat somebody up too bad, you will get charged with assault. That has happened when we had to call the police.
Right, but what I'm saying to you, it shouldn't be a degree of how bad you beat somebody up. It's black or white. Is it assault or is it not assault? If I were to run up and hit somebody because I got whatever IEP or whatever, you're right. You're right. It's a step up from assault. My bad. Assault would be threatening to do so. It's battery. Right. Yeah. So the kid has committed battery.
Are all people who are not of all the same mental capacity held to the same legal standard, Joe? They are not.
So in this case, they are.
But Roger, you said legal standard. We gonna let a court of law decide that.
In the court of law dropped the charges, Joe.
And they had their prerogative to do that after he was arrested.
But I'm saying he would have gotten the car. I'm saying that he never had handcuffs on him.
How do you know he would have gotten the car? All this what if?
And how you don't know? Your what if too.
All this what if?
Your thing was what if he got this time to get in the car and he would have acted out? Wasn't that not a what if? You what if too? Why can't
you already addressed that? Now you over here putting your own what ifs out.
And you started the what ifs though, bro. You said what if? What if all the shit we didn't see?
What like an 8th grader?
This is what I live.
Started it.
Right. So here's what I'll say. I'll say.
And I said, based off the video that I saw, I said that young man followed all commands. There was no reason for him to be handcuffed.
He didn't follow all commands. One of the commands is to keep your hands to yourself.
But we don't know. What the teacher said, well, fuck you, sit down. We don't
go with it until proven, you know what I'm saying?
Right. So you what if it though? You said he broke a command. We don't know what happened up to that point, right? All we know is that he
we know that he was accused.
Let me ask you something, though, Joe.
So everything else is what if, right, Joe?
So if my kid hits me without me knowing or wanting it, that's still battery.
No, call the police. Call the police, Frank.
Go for it. If you want to call the police, go ahead.
Call the police, Frank. Joe said call the police on everybody.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, it's if my kid hits you and you call the cops, I'm gonna be like, yo, Joe, seriously though, you an adult? Because at some point, that's what we always talk about. You know, common sense is being an adult too.
Yeah, but Frank, that is the law.
I don't know this. I don't know this illogical.
All right, hold on.
I don't know this illogical rabbit hole we have fell down in. I don't know what's happening.
No, but what I'm saying, because he mentioned that in the real world, because like wherever Crittenton you guys were at, you know, you had protocols you follow.
You know,
right?
It's my fault.
Joe mentioned that in real world,
Frank,
that's battery or assault or whatever.
Frank,
right?
It's my fault. I shouldn't have brought this in. Joe, coming from the agenda of dealing with high school kids, he got his own agenda. These kids can't be hitting teachers. Let's move on.
Right, but kids is kids, though, right?
As Joe would say, one to go.
Tell him again.
He's absolutely right.
Absolutely right. And I got one to go. You're absolutely right. I got one
absolutely
to go.
Right. Man, don't listen to fucking Anthony. This nigga, whatever.
Tiebreaker. Only got one thing. Really, I say that this is a slippery slope.
Yeah.
If you start normalizing handcuffing 8-year-olds for simple assaults, who gets affected most by that? What community?
I mean, of course, you know, we would.
Who gets punished? By and large,
the other half of the brothers don't want to hear that shit, James. He don't want to hear it.
Let's see.
If you're asking, do I want to see 8-year-olds get arrested in mass? No.
Yes, you do.
Okay, whatever. But what I'm saying to you is, do I think that it is irrational for them to arrest somebody who was hit a teacher? I don't think that's irrational at all.
Okay.
I mean, I get what
that rhetoric can be twisted and used to further the agenda of incarceration.
I would hope that in all things,
the school to prison pipeline.
In all things, I'm an advocate of handling things at the lowest level possible. In all things, I am an advocate of that.
What we really should be talking about, does the school have the correct protocols in place to deal with their special needs students? And if they don't, that needs to be reevaluated.
This might have been the protocol. All the cops.
That's a question.
But then I will say that there is a zero tolerance policy in most schools as far as violence is concerned.
Well, zero tolerance policies a lot of times don't take nuance into account.
It don't. It don't. But law is law.
Dude, law is a bullshit statement, dude. Come on. You gotta saying the law is a.
I didn't say law was fair. I'm saying law is law.
Law is the law. That's what people say when they don't want to look at the nuances of a situation.
Exactly. Well,
if you're asking,
James.
Go ahead, Timmy.
But James, I agree with that. They don't want to look at the nuances of the situation. They want to go ahead. That's their main excuse when they're trying to justify putting handcuffs like this.
Well,
in this case,
I'm just saying, but it sounded like you were agreeing with them by saying the law is the law. That's what my.
No, I don't agree with. I don't agree with.
We're good then.
And understandably, the law isn't law. They wouldn't have dropped the charges.
Here's my question.
Right.
Here's my question.
Go ahead.
Are we holding the police responsible? Are we holding the school responsible? Are we holding the teacher responsible? Are we holding the child responsible? Are we holding the family responsible? I agree with the statement that James just made. There probably should be a very strong look at the protocols that are put in place to A, prevent this situation, and B, to deal with this situation. You've got school resource officers, SROs, who are in these schools, and they may jump in and assert themselves in these type of situations and arrest somebody, whereas if the SROs weren't in building, that's what we talk about defunding the police. Yeah. Maybe we need to take the SROs out of elementary schools.
Right, especially when it comes to the special needs.
I think Frank said something about that as far as like having mental health people there instead of SROs.
So what I'm saying to you is, would I like to see more 8-year-olds arrested by the police? No. But at the same time, I'm not. It's not.
From too.
I feel you.
Because I know the things that you've dealt with as a teacher.
Oh yeah,
I've seen.
I agree.
I have other friends I know that are teachers.
Please believe
that they've had to deal with.
I understand.
Please believe. Hey, no. I'm gonna say this right now for fact. Please believe I have taken the guns off safety at work. I have committed to what. Like, if this nigga move, I'm fucking his ass up.
But hold on, Joe. There. Are you at a high school or the elementary?
I don't give a fuck where the fuck I'm at. I'm
answering the question. Can you answer my question though? Are you at a high school or elementary school?
I was at a middle school to begin with, but I was at a high school. But I don't give a fuck about whether it's elementary or whatever. I'm talking about when a child has been given the. So the same fucker that's 8 years old in second grade. Hitting students. What the fuck you think they're gonna do when they come see me?
I understand what you're saying.
When they hit teachers in second grade, what the fuck you think they're gonna see me?
Once again, that's why I address.
Hey, look. Let them get away with that shit.
Once again, though, I address.
Get away with that shit. Come see Coach Jefferson.
I understand that you have your own personal experience.
I don't think anybody has said that he should have been allowed to hit the teacher with no consequences.
But also,
get away with that shit. Come see Coach Jefferson.
But what I'm saying is, you're also. But you're also saying that you're not saying that 8-year-old. You said when he comes to see you, so that means they're not going to be 8 years old when they come see you. So you're talking about basically almost teenagers, right? Middle school level, high school level, and above. I get what you're saying. That's why I said we also been to you on this because there's stories you shared with me. Being a teacher, having to fucking just hold your breath. There's stories you have shared on the podcast. So I get what you're saying. But what I'm saying is also what James is saying, that when you start handcuffing 8-year-olds, it kind of leads to a path to where they're going to come see you.
Man. I mean they don't come see me.
Because if the only option is I'm going to get criminalized and not get arrested, which means I'm not getting rehabilitated, then what the fuck else? We also talk about the sooner you get into the system, then what?
Thankfully, they dropped the charges.
But
he's still in the system. He got processed, though.
No, he didn't get processed. They dropped the charges. No, like if you go beforehand.
Don't put your hands on teachers. I don't say what we're talking about, folks. Don't put your hands on teachers.
No. So what we're talking.
Don't put your hands on civilians. Don't put your hands on nobody, man.
Right.
Keep your fucking hands and feet to yourself.
I will say ADHD, oppositional defiant disorder, depression, anxiety. He probably got a whole bunch of other shit going on.
Hey, like I got them too. I got a whole bunch of them disorders. Nigga, come fuck with me.
Yeah, but you're 40 plus.
That's
so.
all right. I'm a man. I'm 40.
Yeah, you're not 8, nigga.
Come see me. That's all right.
So once again, like James brought up, this is definitely the gray area. Yes, children should be taught to not put hands on people, but at the same point in time, we got to find out a way not to be putting 8-year-olds in handcuffs unless they stabbing teachers. But if they come to see,
that's the line.
Huh?
If you stab a teacher, then we gonna do it, huh?
I guess.
Yeah, but
you committed an actual crime. I guess. I don't know.
I don't know if you guys addressed
battery's not an actual crime. Okay.
Grant hit me the other day with a bat on accident. Is that a crime? I assume it was an accident.
Now, if you wanted to take your son to court, you can do that.
According to the Joe rules, I should.
Now, I don't think you should.
Call the police.
I don't think you should, but I think if you at this situation where, hey, that's all you can do, but I'm telling you this, let a kid put hands on me, 8-year-old or not.
Nigga, you ain't hit no 8-year-old. Get the fuck out of here. That fucking rum is that cheap ass fucking South American rum that James done bought you talking to your sister, nigga. You ain't hitting no kid.
I'm on the Kentucky bourbon today.
You may give him that. You may hip check the fuck out of a kid. I know you might do that, but you ain't about to put your hands on no kid. Like, ooh, that nigga fell. I don't know what happened.
Hey, we'll talk offline. Okay. Look, I plead the fifth, motherfucker. We'll talk offline.
All right, we'll keep it moving. Oh, goddamn.
But hey, before we go, but to James' point though, he's right though. I mean, about those rules or protocols are in there. Yes, eventually they're there for a safety reason, but eventually the recipient of the negative actions of those is going to be targeted towards the minorities, bro. So, I mean, in this event, like the kid was light shade or whatever, white appearing or whatnot, but more often than not, you're going to find, you're going to find a lot of minorities that are going to be handcuffed. How many videos have we seen of like kids being slammed by SROs?
I'm with James 100%. I do agree that the school needs to look at their protocols to make sure that A, they are preventing this situation from happening, and B, that they are dealing with it in an appropriate manner, involving all the appropriate parties, especially the parents.
Right. I agree.
There we go.
There we go. Anyway, moving on. Florida sheriff orders deputies not to wear a mask. And he also bans civilians in masks from office. A Florida sheriff barred deputies from wearing facial coverings in most work settings, authorities said Wednesday, even as the state continues to struggle with record-breaking coronavirus numbers. Marion County Sheriff Billy Woods insisted there's no conclusive evidence that wearing masks curbs the spread of the virus, despite explicit Centers of Disease Control Prevention CDC guidelines saying just that.
I'm on the fence on this a little bit with just that 2-sentence statement. That what he's saying is I somewhat agree with that statement. I'm not agreeing with what he's recommending or suggesting it happen. Because if you notice, here in Kansas, we have a mandate statewide of wearing a mask, but we're still averaging 1,100 cases every other day.
But Frank, mandate versus people actually wearing the fucking mask, two different things.
Fuck.
Mandate at Overland Park Regional Medical Center, it is a mandate that when all employees are on the grounds and all visitors and all patients are on the let me finish. You're supposed to wear a mask. They had to even go further to let motherfuckers know the mask has to be over your nose. There are several fucking security guards at OPRMC who wear a mask, but right here on their lips. So once again, I talk about mandate versus people actually wearing it and it actually being enforced. You're talking about Kansas being what? A red state.
Right.
They ain't fucking with none of that shit. I've been in many places.
Governor.
Huh?
For the blue governor.
For the blue governor, yeah.
No, and here in Topeka, we have a blue mayor too, a blue Democrat mayor.
But
I'm saying, I was just specifically targeting that statement. He's saying that there's no real conclusive evidence that masks do curb. I'm not saying they may not necessarily bring it down, but they may not increase it.
No one's wearing the mask. That's what I'm saying.
Because I'm going based on that statement and based on the numbers that are being reported right now.
Okay.
Here in Kansas, we're reporting Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and every day we've been mandated wearing masks, and for the most part, a lot of people are wearing their mask around, right? But our numbers are still at 1,100, averaging every 1,100. Now, granted, Monday might be 1,200, Wednesday might be 850 or whatever. Friday, we just had like a $1,300 boost. You know what I'm saying?
So hey, Frank,
on a consistent, but what I'm saying, just that statement. Now, I don't agree with what he's.
But also,
proposing.
I would ask you, what's a mask to people? You wearing your T-shirt?
That's
you wearing.
Well, in this case,
you wearing
an
old fucking sock around your face, which I've seen people
face
do.
Covering. That's what they cover.
Like I said, and not just that. I brought the security guard up because he is a paid employee at OPR who is also supposed to enforce the mask wearing policy. He's walking around the fucking building inside the hospital just wearing his mask basically over the top of his lip. So again,
if it's a mandate, everybody's enforced.
So once again,
everybody from the facility.
I get it. Mandate. Yeah, we got lots of rules that the president don't follow. What the fuck we talking about? Mandate versus what people are actually doing. That's what I'm talking about. Mandate versus what.
I wasn't talking about that. I was talking about his statement that.
Yeah, but
mass curbing.
Yeah. But what you said to back it up was there's a mandate. Mandates don't mean.
But even with the mandate here, not everybody's wearing a mask everywhere.
Okay. That's what I'm saying. So if you're not wearing a mask,
but I'm not talking about. I'm talking about his statement that said.
I get what you're saying. Okay. You're saying that. Hold on. You're saying that he's saying that masks don't curb it.
No, go back to the statement. Go back to that specific statement.
Yeah, his specific statement. That's all masks, facial coverings in most work settings. Blah blah blah. So there's no conclusive as if wearing masks curbs the spread of virus. But what I'm saying is he's saying specifically that there's a mandate. There's a mandate, but a mandate don't mean these simple Simon motherfuckers are following it. That don't mean shit.
No.
There's a mandate in Missouri that you got to wear in most counties in Missouri that you got to wear a mask to go into buildings. But when I go into buildings, everybody got a mask around their chin.
Right.
I seem to be the only nigga that knows how to wear a mask properly with my associate's degree.
You're medical. Yeah.
So I'm saying you got to be careful when you say mandate. Mandate don't mean people following the rules.
Hold on, though, bro. Forget the mandate shit. I was looking at his statement his statement of saying that there's no conclusive evidence that the wearing the mask curbs the spread. And just looking at that statement right there and looking at the numbers that are still going up in Florida.
Hey, read the next line though. So when you have a public official who refuses to enforce the wearing of a mask, look, I get what you're saying, Frank. I'm ahead of you. I get what you.
But the numbers are being reported directly to the White House. They're not being filtered through the CDC anymore.
I know
it hasn't been done for like a year, 2 months.
No, they haven't been done. I get, bro. I'm already ahead of you, bro. I get what you're saying. I get when fucking Fat Nixon said, "Fuck reporting to the CDC, report to us." I get all of that. But before that, niggas wasn't wearing masks either. That's all I'm saying.
Right. No. Okay.
Dude, hold on. None of that shit matters. There's a mandate by the state that's supposed to be wearing a mask. He as law enforcement should be enforcing that. He is not.
Exactly. That was my next point.
In the story. That's it.
Yeah.
All that other shit don't matter, man. All that stuff you're talking about, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what he thinks. It doesn't matter what actually does. The state has mandated that it should be done, and he as law enforcement
and that's
should
a beautiful
do it. The sheriff departments do what they want to do anyway, which is the whole subject.
Right, because even here in Kansas, like the governor put the mandate, but the Shawnee County where I live in, it was
even
challenged and lost 2-1.
Even in the greater.
And if I see an 8-year-old not wearing a mask, goddamn, I'm putting cuffs on him.
Calling the police. but even within the greater metropolitan area, you have all these smaller cities in different areas who have different rules.
Yeah.
Well, my point is just take the mandate out the whole equation. If we take mandate out the whole equation and just use common sense theory,
but the thing is,
everyone decides if everybody just wore a mask, everybody. Just
no one's gonna wear a
90%.
mask though. 10 meters. If you mandate it and niggas don't wear a mask, if you give them free will, you think they gonna wear a mask?
What I'm saying is, I'm just saying, think of it logically. I know
these niggas
this
ain't
is
got
not
logic.
practice. I realize that shit. I realize that.
I got a question.
Go ahead, Joe.
My bad, 10 meters. My bad. So we talking about masks. At the funeral, there was somebody who I used to coach, who grown woman now, decided she didn't want to mess up her makeup and wore a shield instead. Is that an acceptable replacement to a mask?
What do you mean a shield? What do you mean?
Yes.
The shield
is.
So it doesn't. So the shield prevents you from infecting other people.
Because the droplets hit the shield instead of going out into the air.
Yeah. Okay, but that goes back to a larger point. That's assuming that it's spread by droplets.
It is,
we
but
really don't know how. We really don't know. We don't know. We're guessing.
That is established. No, we're not guessing.
No, we're guessing because
it's not a guess.
No, Frank.
That's
it is
not a
established
guess.
that it's droplets. It's
that
a
is not a
droplet.
guess. You better go back and redo
It
your
is not
research.
airborne.
Hold on. Let Frank. So what's the other means of transmission?
No, I'm just saying though. You have air contact, bodily fluids, droplets usually from your saliva or mouth, right, or nose or whatnot, right? But it could be by contact. We just don't know. That's what I was trying to get back to that.
But I think the
that
contact
if you're saying more people look in comparison to February and March, more people are more actively doing and wearing masks, but yet our fucking numbers are going up. So assuming we're assuming,
but I would
you're misrepresenting.
But I would say, but I would say with
a mask is a mask.
No.
But I would
it wasn't until we started opening up things again.
Right.
But those numbers went up.
But I would say, even what you're saying though, Frank, is still droplets. They're talking about people sneezing and then you putting your hands and face on whatever, like porous your eyeballs or your nose or your mouth, so it's still spread through droplets.
It's droplets.
I didn't say that's the only way.
Even if I don't sneeze on you, me talking, I'm still putting droplets in the air, but my speaking.
Yeah.
So if I have a barrier that can keep it from getting. How does the shield not stop that?
But you got the peripheral.
No.
You have a shield all the way around you.
What am I talking about?
No. That's not how droplets are spread. Frank.
Speak on it. Let's hear it.
Droplets. It just like James was saying. As you speak, droplets are within the air. But if they are stopped by a shield, within your body range, they're not going to go anywhere. It's going to go and hit that shield. It's not just like that's what a mask is for. A mask, if you speak, you're going to speak into that mask, and the droplets are not going to go anywhere.
From the CDC, verbatim, the first line: the virus that causes COVID-19 is thought to spread mainly from person to person.
Right, but they're talking about you.
That's contact.
That doesn't necessarily. It even says mainly through respiratory droplets produced when an infected person coughs, sneezes,
What was that? What was that word you said?
The mouth, nose, people are nearby possible and to be inhaled. What I'm saying is, unless you wear the shield all the way around your fucking head.
But the most important thing is though not to. So yeah, if someone sneezes up into the air and you inhale it, that's gonna happen. They're talking about if we're talking and there's spit flying at me, the shield should be covering my eyeballs, my nose, and my mouth.
Right,
yeah, I get that. I get what you're trying. As I was saying, I get what you're trying to say. But the main thing is, if there's spit or any kind of what we call droplets in the air and you inhaled it, yes, you increase your risk. That's why I also said, when you were talking about this, what are people wearing for masks? Even in the medical community, there's level 1, level 2, level 3, PAPRs and shit like that. So of course, you have a level 1 mask. If I sneeze directly on your level 1 mask, you're going to inhale some of my spit, some of my droplets. But if you have a level 3 or a PAPR, which is a shield with a respirator or an N95, it's less likely that you inhale those droplets. It's still drop. If I sneeze on this computer and you come in later and touch the computer after so many hours and then touch your face, it's still droplets. But as you said, human contact spread by droplets. So if I spit on something, you touch it, my little droplets, through human contact, you touch something that I've already touched or spit upon, and you decide I'm going to dig into my eyes or my nose or my mouth, yes, you will get the virus. You get it.
So the healthcare professionals in the room here, is the shield a suitable replacement for an N95 mask?
It's not direct.
Not a replacement for the N95.
Different levels.
Because the N90
different levels of protection.
Yeah, because the N95, you're talking about something that, if you got it done properly, that's fitted for you, whether it's medium, small, large, and it fits you correctly, it forms a nice seal over your nose. But then, like even in the medical field, if you're getting someone who hasn't been COVID tested or tested positive, they say you also got to wear goggles that cover your eyeballs and also the side of your face. So yes, if that shield is there, but if you got just a shield, that means it's not a seal, right? So
there's no seal. Seal on this.
Yeah, it does provide protection, but is it comparative to an N95? No. But is the N95 comparative?
Is it comparative to the homemade mask made out of a bandana or whatever that I've got made?
I would say the most important thing is.
I would say yes.
I'm saying because there is no seal, right? So
there's no seal.
Yeah. So that's tricky because there's no seal, which is the most important thing when you're talking about droplet protection, right? So if I sneeze up in the air, it still can get in there. You can still inhale it, but is it likely? No. Like I said, at the same point in time, you can wear a level 3 mask, and like me, I got glasses on, but the side of my eye, as you see, I can't see, but everybody niggas know wear glasses. No, the side of my eyes aren't protected.
So they're not goggles, they're glasses.
Yeah, they're not. Right. Thank you, James. So if a nigga sneeze like right into the side of my fucking face for some reason, then I'm open to it. You know what I'm saying? There is no perfect protection besides niggas wearing a protective mask.
That's kind of good. What I was gonna get to the point. I hear a lot of, if it's not 100%, I'm not doing it. Okay. And that's dumb reasoning.
That's a problem. Yeah.
I told something. Yeah. Condoms ain't 100%, but niggas still keep putting their dicks in them.
Right. So I ain't 100%. Dude, you do what you can, and it's not that intrusive.
Right. The bare minimum.
I personally think that the lady should have worn a mask that Joe encountered, but the fact that she had something on was better than nothing. I'll just say that.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think to Frank's bigger point is we're like I said, it's why it's the novel virus, dog. Every day we learn something new. But I think we do know that if you washing your hands, not putting your fucking dirty ass hands in your eyeballs, in your mouth, in your nose, and whatever the fuck your anus. If that's
maintain your distance.
Yeah, maintain your distance. And if you are taking, like, even if you wrap a shirt around your face, it's not a medical mask, it's not graded, but you're still reducing the amount of droplets you put in the air when you speak and when you cough. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what the percentage is, but you can't tell me.
And I feel like the mask is more keeping you
safe,
and everybody else too, because I'm making sure in case I got it. If I got my spread on and I'm talking, I'm not spreading it out there. So
all I'm saying is, if it's good enough for young children with immunodeficiency diseases, it should be good enough for you niggas to put a mask on.
Right.
There we go.
I agree.
Putting the mask. It's chill.
But stay at home and don't
that too.
Yeah. Don't go to parties and do cocaine off of strippers' assholes. I don't know.
Stay home.
Don't do that.
What's up here?
I think that's just a good rule of thumb, nigga.
I mean, it depends on what you're into.
Right.
Actually, that was a good segue for that story about that nigga that tried to sneak his some woman into the NFL bubble. The Seahawks rookie safety. That nigga tried to sneak a woman in and dress her up as a football player, nigga. He got cut. He got cut. Anyway, he a rookie. He ain't good enough. But hold on, here we go.
Willing to make to relocate it to somewhere that doesn't stand for justice, as our courthouses do.
But Say Their Names Alabama has some opposition from about 24 members and supporters of the Sons of Confederate Veterans.
Regardless how the next person feel, I'm not gonna take my flag down. If I got anything to do with it, ain't no monument gonna come down.
Daniel Sims says he was adopted as a child.
My whole family's white. Went to all white school.
I ain't got nothing to say. I'm keeping.
Grew up in an all-white neighborhood. My grandfather was white, and he was the main one that fought in this war here. And he's taught me everything I know.
He explains how he'd feel if the statues and flag were relocated.
It may make my blood boil if they just come up here and feel like they can just tear it down. I don't see me still living if they do that right there. That monument ain't hurting nobody. That monument ain't killing a soul. It ain't talking bad to nobody. It ain't even racist.
But Dunstan says she's willing.
Look here, dog. I don't believe no nigga to talk like that that's wearing an Apple Watch.
He went to an all-white what?
School.
He threw an R in there.
He threw all kind of shit.
That nigga said my granddaddy white, my whole family white.
He should have put a handcuff.
That was it right there.
This is the nigga they got to come and talk about what black people like.
Find them, man. I don't know how they find them, but they always find them.
They found the one nigga in the world that ain't never been around other niggas.
Right.
But he looked the most niggerish though.
Right. That's because he went to school instead of school.
Hold on,
Right.
dog. You know how I know he acting? That nigga had an Apple Watch on. Ain't nobody down there talking like that, talking about fuck niggas and fuck white people and fuck the United States wearing an Apple Watch. No.
You sure about that?
I believe it.
Well,
I believe it.
I don't know. My only question was, he said he was adopted by white people. I wonder what the fuck this adoption agency was, nigga. I think
nigga, the Umbrella Academy. You seen that show on Netflix?
Plantation, nigga. I think they told he was adopted, but nigga, he stayed in the fucking shack out back while they was in the big house eating all the good vittles.
Hey,
he got all fucking leftovers and shit.
Why was that nigga shirt buttoned up like an extra from Colors, nigga? He had the top button up, all the way buttoned up, nigga.
Hey, that's the southern shit right now.
Vatos.
For real.
Nigga had some
Holmes.
shit. Nigga, hey man, I need you. Hey, you gotta go pick up all the cotton shirts out the laundry, nigga.
Hey, dog. I still think that nigga acting, dog. I think that nigga paid for.
Shit.
I think we gonna see him.
It was blatant. It was very blatant. It was like blatant. It was so coonish. I couldn't believe it.
If we review all the Blacks for Trump tapes, we definitely gonna see this nigga's face behind holding one.
Oh shit, yeah. He gonna have a show pretty soon. Watch.
That nigga said, I ain't never had no problem with nothing. All these white folks.
Hell, it ain't even racist.
It ain't even racist.
We'll keep an eye on him. Make sure that he's not hospitalized a week later or 14 days later.
Watching this cone.
Oh shit!
Oh my god, bro! You trying everybody right now, bro?
Hold on, we'll keep it going. A Florida GOP sheriff allegedly ordered the arrest of his mistress. Now he's facing charges. Daryl Daniels, the sheriff of Clay County, Florida, dialed his deputy from the quiet suburban road with an urgent plea for backup. He was being followed by a stalker in a Jeep and appeared to be in imminent danger. But Daniels knew exactly who was behind him on that day. In May 2019, prosecutors say it was Cherie Smith, his former employee and mistress of 6 years, on her way to meet him at their regular spot. Filming the whole thing was his wife, to whom he had recently confessed the affair. Now Smith has resigned from her job. Daniel's wife has filed for divorce, and the sheriff is the one who ended up behind bars. On Thursday, following a year-long investigation, Florida authorities filed the charges against him and booked him into jail. Blue Lives Matter, y'all. Blue Lives Matter.
So how was he treated when he wasn't wearing the badge? I'm curious to see what was the next paragraph. What it say?
I don't know. I'm just saying.
But he was reelected?
Wait, what did it say there?
No, he's up for re-election.
Oh, he's up for re-election. That nigga
I read it.
He going to jail.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, these niggas ain't shit.
He's innocent. He's innocent.
Oh wait, he hasn't resigned yet?
No.
No, he ain't resigned.
So how
he ain't
go to
moving
jail?
shit.
Matter of fact, he says I'm not resigning. Y'all kiss my ass.
So how is he behind bars and not?
I don't know if he's
still being
behind
shot?
bars right now. I think he's just been charged. Booked him into jail. I'm sure he was released after he was booked. Daniels, who was released without bond, was charged with tampering with evidence, a felony, and as well as 3 misdemeanor counts of giving false information to other law officials.
Florida, bro. Florida, though.
America's butthole.
Yep. Oh, he's gonna be acquitted.
He's gonna get reelected.
Well, I put it this way: if Florida's America's butthole, Georgia's that little space between the sack and the butthole.
Oh, you talking about that little
tank?
That little tank. Georgia got to be the tank, nigga. The taint of America. So it says he and Smith began their secret liaison in 2013 when he was 48 years old, chief of Jacksonville jails, and she was 21. Damn. 21-year-old
right out of high school,
undergoing her first week of job orientation. He got it before she even got right. The two exchanged cell phone numbers and started meeting weekly for sex, she said, and at one point took a vacation to Costa Rica together.
Damn.
Hold on, wait a minute. She got married to another man. This nigga dirty. Oh my God.
He's a dirty motherfucker.
Ass nigga. When she got married,
he'll repent.
When she got
Jesus.
hold on. When she got married to another man, two years later, Daniels reportedly gave the bridal toast. This old dirty dick ass nigga.
He gave her more than a toast.
Yeah, he gave her the tip.
There's some hoes in this house. There's some hoes. No.
Yeah, I mean, well, you know. Damn, he apologized, so we should forgive him, fellas. It's all good.
What?
I'm just saying, it said he apologized, so we should forgive him.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah, right. that's all bad.
What did go back to that? What did Ron DeSantis say? Oh, my bad. It doesn't matter what he says, but you know, it's just always funny.
Excuse me. Where you at? Where'd you see that at?
Right there. Or it says,
fuck.
Yeah. Anonymous letter urged DeSantis to fire Daniels, allegedly that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I thought he had a quote. My bad.
Yeah. Anyway, I had no quote, but yeah, fuck him. Anyway, moving on. More funny shit. Yes, of course, Donald Trump wants his face added to Mount Rushmore.
Of course. Makes perfect sense.
And, I mean, hey, a mountain filled with white racist rapists, I'll allow it.
Okay.
Put him up there. He'll be fine. Anyway, yeah, he's a piece of shit. Fuck him. We all know that.
Right.
So, where we at here? I guess we get into the sports side of it. Yeah, y'all hear about my man, I'm about to fuck his name up, Darius, is it Geis? Juice?
Yeah, you got it.
Strangled
Darius
girlfriend
Geis.
until she was unconscious. Charging document says. This is August 10th. Darius Geis strangled his girlfriend until she was unconscious in his Ashburn home in March. When she awoke, the NFL player was crying and tapping her. The woman, who was only identified in court documents using initials, told authorities Geis also pushed her and pulled her hair during the encounter. According to the charging documents filed in Loudoun County General District Court on Monday.
Loudoun, not Loudoun.
Okay, thank you.
Adding letters and shit.
I get it. I don't give a fuck.
What school did you go to, boy?
Huh?
Yeah.
Well, thank goodness he's not 8 years old. I don't know if he got handcuffs put on.
Oh shit! Not the 8. Oh wow.
I could already see that they're gonna blame WAP on this. Watch.
WAP? Oh my god.
August 10th? Yeah.
I don't want to hear no more about WAP. So many niggas have just. Anyway. Travis Kelce, he's trying to get back good with the black women in the black community. Travis Kelce pens note to Kansas City as he announces his first purchase after contract. Kelce plans to build a STEM lab to help Kansas City's underserved neighborhoods as a safe, undeserved neighborhoods a safe haven. I don't know what that means. Okay, yeah. Kelsey, he trying to help. I'll fuck with that. Joe, y'all getting that STEM money, Joe?
That's what we need. What, huh?
Yeah, Joe. Nigga sleep. Him and James.
Damn, Joe.
Text messages back and forth.
And that rum hitting, the bourbon.
That motherfucker's faded.
I'm just
drunk.
I think we reached the limit. Let's go ahead and wrap this up.
Hold on. Wait, we got one more.
Wrap it up,
one
wrap
more
it
big
up.
one. Big Ten cancels fall football season. Hopes to play in spring.
Well, that's
nobody. Anybody? So I think.
I ain't got no. I'm happy they did. I'm happy Big Ten did it. Who else did it?
I think
Big Ten. Big Ten did do it. Oh yeah, they did.
Big Ten did do it. That's why Nebraska was trying to come back to the Big 12 for one season because the Big 12, I think ACC, SEC, and Pac-12 have not
canceled their season yet.
Actually, I think the SEC has said, "Fuck y'all, we gonna do it till a nigga die." Right. Pretty much.
The SEC said that?
Pretty much go screw up the damn
They didn't say that. Of course, they didn't say that.
There's
but
no
the
championship.
the SEC is going to do a 10-game season, all league play.
All conference, yeah.
All conference. Thank you, sir.
Well, and the NCAA already told because the SEC tried to come off like, oh, we'll just do it. Who's here, and we'll get a champion out of it. And the NCAA already said that's not going to happen. There will be no championship games.
Yep.
Okay.
And so, like I said, so I think the Big 12, like I said, Pac-12, Big 12, ACC, SEC, I think are still the two, the major conferences on the fence as far
that
as
are still in
canceling their season. And then you have Nebraska already got shut down, but like we talked about in the pregame, you have these schools like saying, "Hey, can we go to these conferences for a year just to play football?" And then we talked about it. We talked about it, and we got reminded to say for the show. No, the NCAA doesn't determine such things, but the conferences have a lot of sway and leeway on who's a member and also what those members do. That side of the
they got contracts. There's no way in hell that can happen.
Yeah,
right.
As I was trying to tell you, Frank.
If your conference shuts it down, your school is shut down. Your program shut down for the year. So they might as well just let it go.
Because you go back and do some searches on Nebraska, you'll find a lot of articles from the previous week, but now they didn't got quiet because the Big Ten just said shut the fuck up.
Right.
Because Nebraska was trying to go back to the Big 12 for a season.
Well, shut that shit down. Shut it down.
It's a mess, man. Yeah. I mean, and they can't even like agree amongst each other. And you got so many. It's so much. Like it's not like it's totally different from like a sports league, a professional sports league, where you got like it's more centralized.
And you have a union. You have a fucking union for all the players.
Right, and agrees on what's going to happen. It's just like the structure of the NCAA is just so, and that's why I think that's why college basketball. I was like, nah, it's too much. Just shut it all down, man. They were on the verge of their championship season.
And it was, but it's like it's too many bodies, it's too many people, it's not a central authority, and you can't.
The logistics are a nightmare. Yeah.
And matter of fact, in a podcast we were talking about how they was like, ain't gonna be no March Madness for you niggas. Sorry.
No.
And I was talking about somebody at work. I won't say his name. And true, I mean, will most of those kids go through the season, not get sick? Sure. But who wants to be the parent? Who wants to be the team of the kid who either dies because of this shit or who gets it, survives, and now, as has been reported by many people, they have these cardiac issues, they have these long-term respiratory issues. Nobody wants to be that guy.
No. Or they spread it to somebody else.
Spread someone
that is vulnerable.
And then also you're talking about a college campus filled with fucking 18 to 22-year-olds. How you gonna keep them niggas locked down?
Socially distanced. You can't.
So has the Pac-12 already canceled? I thought they didn't they?
The Pac-10 decision came while the Pac-12 presidents were on call to discuss. So as right when I'm saying this, they were still discussing it.
No, they have. I think Pac-12 is one of the conferences that did cancel.
I thought the Big Ten was following their lead. I think.
There's not going to be a college football season.
Yeah,
and there just isn't. It's too much now. It's not going to happen. I don't care what nobody says. It's not going to happen.
I would just read this
not
answer.
Just football. I say fall sports.
I will read this answer to Frank's question.
Yeah, but football and basketball are the only ones that people care.
Hold on, y'all. I will read this answer to Frank's question. The Big Ten decision marks an important one in college football landscape as it marks the first major conference to decide to cancel fall football. The Big Ten joins the MAC and Mountain West Conference in canceling the football season. The Big Ten decision came while the Pac-12 presidents were on a call to discuss the fate of their season. So it hadn't been made yet before the Big Ten came before the Pac-12. The Pac-12 may have announced after that, I'm not sure. While the virus inhibiting numerous Pac-12 schools' ability to practice, it's expected the Pac-12 will follow the Big Ten's decision. So when the Big Ten came out to announce this, the Pac-12 had not made a decision yet. But I am sure they will follow suit. That was being discussed also. But the ones who were holding, as far as the major conferences, Big 12, ACC, and SEC have yet to say anything.
Right. You all right over there, Joe? Oh.
That nigga drunk and tired. He ready to get off.
That motherfucker is he's gone. He is gone.
Not so much drunk. Just
He already said let's wrap it up. So I was trying to get through that one big story.
Yeah.
Yeah, same shit. So we are. This is my nigga, Paul Feinbaum, saying the same shit we talked about. And as much as I want to see college football, I want to see my sons who are grasping the game at a very lovely level. I want to see them play, but I don't want them to see them get hurt either. And if you talk about high school sports having to have a scrimmage where no parents can come and watch, that means people know we should just cancel this shit.
I will talk about that though. Go ahead. I want to fucking check for the fall.
I get it. I get your agenda, wanting to check for a fall.
So do the conferences. That's why they're taking so long.
I know.
You being
so I got an athlete, and he had stress fractures during last year's cross country season. His track season was cut short. He's graduating this year. I think he's a Division I caliber athlete, but if he is not allowed to participate, that's going to, prevent him from having several opportunities. I know that schools have been a little bit more lax in their requirements to bring people in. I don't know. I also know that when these colleges saying that we're not going to have their season and they're going to give, maybe an extension of people who were under,
right.
Maybe you were in your 5th year, we'll give you a 6th year. I don't know. In terms of eligibility, that may impact these high school students getting opportunities to get into those programs also because they're holding on to that 6-year senior.
Yep.
Right. So, I mean, there's a lot of things that are going on. None of it is great. I do think we need to keep the kids foremost in our minds. Football is a sport that I don't know how you keep, especially at the high school level, how you keep people from transmitting the disease. I think a sport like tennis, maybe, I think you might be able to do that one. Then there's the little camps that people set up for the tournament, so that has to be a concern. I coach cross country in the fall. And I don't think the race itself would be an issue, but the starting line might be.
Correct.
But more so the little camps that we hold, while you're waiting on your race. People kind of get around and they mingle and that type of thing. So there's a lot of concerns. I understand that we're going to have to act in the best interest of kids. I would be a complete hypocrite if I were to say to you that we need to cancel schools because it's not safe and then say we need to have sports because I want to check.
No, I get it. We get the joke. We get it. We definitely get it.
Right. But I do want to check.
But even in non-contact sports, But even in non-contact sports, I mean, if we're going by what we're discussing before, if they're droplets, the droplets are in the air. I mean, in a simple race that in a cross-country race, yeah, the big focus is going to be at the starting lineup, right? Because you're bunched up, right? But if those droplets remain in the air for however long they are, whether it be minutes, hours, or whatever,
we're outside. We're outside. I think that should be.
It won't be. That's outdoors. It's not a problem. It is a problem when you're less than 6.
Right.
When you're
so
less than 6 feet.
Well, what about when I'm breathing on you because I'm a D lineman about to rush the passer and we're way within 6 feet.
Nigga,
we're outside.
We are inches,
but if
nigga.
you're wearing a mask, you can prevent it.
Okay, so if I'm wearing a mask and then now I'm getting tackled and that mask is getting tangled up in some shit and I'm getting choked out, or you know what I'm saying?
The mask.
Right.
I mean, that's fine. That's fine too.
And
That's fine. That's fine for kids to get choked.
No, but that goes back to the whole thing. Is like, right? We for precautionary reasons we say wear the mask, but in reality we don't know how, because that the body fluid is going to be on the uniform, and then not everybody wears.
You're talking about bodily fluids. I'm not talking about bodily fluids. I'm talking about choke hazards. I'm talking about if you're adding things to the uniform that are, you know what I'm saying, get caught.
Joe, I was being facetious.
I think the bottom line is we all agree that we just don't know, and it should be shelved. But of course, it's America, and money rules over all. And I know Joe even saying the check and laughing, but it's still like, I get paid for that. I would like to get paid for that, but as he said, I don't want children to die because I want to get paid. But you have NCAA, you have all these big schools, these big conferences who are saying, "Fuck that, we need to get paid," because it ain't about the kids playing. It's about the revenue that comes from TV dollars and all this other shit that these schools have been, that no one wants to, that we have talked about on the podcast, that these schools are living fat off of, that now aren't going to get it.
I agree with that. That is probably the big issue. But I am also concerned altruistically about kids who, this is their time, this is their only time in high school.
Oh yeah.
They want to compete.
Of course.
And they're not getting that opportunity to compete, so they're getting a part of their childhood robbed away from, and maybe even financial opportunities for themselves to get into schools and that type of thing.
I agree.
I'm also concerned about that.
Yeah, that's why I brought my own children up in this, where I'm like, I'm not pushing them, but they've been going to workouts where it's only like 4 or 5 kids there, and they got it sectioned off to certain people come. And today they had their first scrimmage. Am I terrified? Yeah, but I also know that they want to do this, and we've had talks about this and being safe and all this other shit. So it's like I'm also torn too. I know,
but they are following the lead. I mean, they are following the lead of the professional leagues that James earlier said. Because kids, I mean, my nephew, he sees MLB playing right now, but you see all these MLB players that are, even today, a couple games were canceled because of positive tests. Yeah, and they're not even. They're not necessarily all on top of each other unless you're the batter or the catcher.
I would say this, Frank, that my twins would still, if they canceled college and NFL, but somehow had high school football, my twins would still want to play.
I think college and professional is two completely different things, man. Yeah.
Right, but they're seeing their sport, quote unquote.
I understand all that. I understand all that, but they're not. That's not the same context. When you talk about professionals, these people are paid to be there, and they can be paid to not only adhere to certain rules on the field of play, they can be kept in a bubble. And so what I'm saying to you, you're not going to keep college students in a bubble. You definitely not going to keep high school students in a bubble. And so the transmission possibilities are way more. Yes, we have seen problems in Major League Baseball. I would say the majority of those came at the beginning of the season before they started to kind of self-isolate, and they had put some more rules in place. I know the Cardinals had gotten to an issue where they're, like you talking about cancellations, it's been mainly the Cardinals. And from what I gather, the Cardinals went out and decided they were going to break the curfew violations or whatever. You're not curfew, but you know what I'm saying, quarantine violations, and went to a casino and kicked it, and then everybody got caught. So from what I gather, yes, we had a few cases. I think the Royals, for one, got hit particularly hard by that. at the beginning of the season, and I think it's been reflected in their record as a result. But people are starting to get back by now because the 14 days have been up, and I don't think you're getting a whole lot of new cases in Major League Baseball.
Well, what is it today? The Pittsburgh or Cincinnati Reds game was canceled because of like a high number. Not just
I don't know
because one or two is.
I didn't check that. I didn't check that out.
I do hear what Frank is saying though. If these teenage boys and girls also see the people who they want to be playing, they're going to say, "Why can't we play?"
Right, they're not necessarily
they not paid athletes like these people.
No. I also get what you're saying, Joe. But I'm saying that they're going to be like, if they can do it, we can do it. I also get they're not paid athletes, but no one in high school is thinking I'm not a paid athlete. They saying I want to become a paid athlete.
Right, they're seeing their sport being on TV, being broadcast, and it's like, I play that.
No teenagers thinking with that logic of they're paid athletes.
So that's why you fucking educate them.
No, yeah, I agree. I'm just saying I hear what Frank is saying too. I definitely agree with what you're saying. I hear you too, and I agree with both of you. I agree that.
No, I'm agreeing with Joe. I'm actually agreeing with Joe. I'm just saying that.
I know you both are.
I have a nephew. Yeah. I have a nephew that, obviously right now I know for a fact that it's not really safe to play. It's not really safe to play, right? That's the uncle in me, right? Yeah. That says, but it's hard for me to tell my nephew, like, yo, it's. I understand that you're gonna lose a year of eligibility or one in high school, and you're not gonna get that back. I get that. Yeah. But those are athletes, and they're being paid to do that, and there's more controls than there would be at the high school level that you're at now. Exactly. It's like it's hard for me to tell him try to at least make it sense to him when he's seeing the sport being played on TV with all these precautions, when in reality, in high school they're going to tell you you're going to take all these precautions, but how realistic is that?
Right.
I'm like, I agree with you, Joe. Like, yo, it's just for me. I'm with you. It's hard for me to translate that to my nephew.
And I'm the same with my twins, where I'm like, if I can't even come watch you play, if your mother can't even come watch you play, how safe do you think it is? And I'll leave it.
If a tree falls in the wilderness and nobody is there to hear it,
it still makes a sound.
It does.
There's a wave. If we're going by measuring wavelengths, it does. It's still a Richter. You can leave.
Who the fuck is measuring the wavelength?
Oh, we having
you can leave a recorder out there.
It is definitely time to go. We having a fucking discussion on if trees make sounds, nigga. It's time to sign off from the podcast. All right, man. I think we have.
He went to the corner.
We have definitely discussed all that needs to be discussed. I want to thank everyone for getting on this beautiful early day on a Saturday. And it's very rare that we have the Brothers of Doom join together, forming like motherfucking Voltron. Big James.
The Brothers of Doom have united.
Joe Jeff. Shout out. 10 meters. Came in late, but came through. And always welcome. 30, is it pisses? 30 pisses? Pisses?
Oh, that's disrespect.
30 pizzas.
Pieces? 30 pizzas? Is it dirty?
30 pizzas? I can go for 30
Is it 30 or dirty?
Dirty pizza?
Dirty pizza. Thank you, Pizza, coming through.
Yeah. Come on, Francis. Tell us what's up.
Damn, I knew Francis. There we go.
He was long overdue for Francis.
It couldn't be a throwback. You know what I'm saying?
Throwback.
Exactly.
If we ever have T-shirts, we're gonna have James, a picture of James with his headphones on, with the little comic book thing saying, "Come on, Frank."
Damn.
Oh, no one heard that.
Anthony opened up the wind tunnel. It must be time to go.
Right.
Anthony about to melt. He didn't let what you call it.
Hey.
He didn't let Harry Tubman come in.
Shit. This motherfucker's living.
Harold Tubman.
Don't try to be correct now, nigga. You said Harry Tubman.
I said Harold Tubman.
Oh, Harold. My bad. Harold Tubman coming through.
Oh, is he running the Underground Railroad over there?
Nigga, he said Harold Tubman, dog. I said, that sounds like a light-skinned nigga if I don't know one. Anyway, It's all good. I'm the KC Stewart. Thank you all for listening. Triple B in the house. Never, ever, ever miss a moment to break bread with your brothers. Brothers Breaking Bread Podcast. We out.
Break bread with your brothers whenever possible.